All right. Welcome, everybody. We have an absolute killer series for you today. This is one of the absolute best series from the last week or so. It is a massive best of 5 semifinals between these two, and it has been highly recommended, especially because apparently there were some big mind games in this series, some real tactical twists and turns where both players tricked each other and sent them down the wrong line of thought. Up here in the top left-hand side, in the blue, it is none other than Parting. And he is indeed the master of mind games, trickery, and straight-up gambles himself. This is a man who doesn't mess around. He goes all in on black as soon as he steps into the casino. His opponent, a very clever player, great at preparing and sniping his opponents, but not as wild. Down in the bottom right, it's Kaisi Gaming Solar. Already blocking the expansion and forcing Solar to take that third hatchery initially. Of course, a favorite of most PROTOSS players these days. Parting now going to run into the mineral line and do a bit of harassment potentially. You can see him there occupying that mineral patch, trying to disturb the mining. Solar quickly pulls a drone to nibble on that probe. Parting's just going to have to back on around, sees that it is a hatch gas pool, and looking to see where he can bounce those drones off those mineral patches, but Solar just constantly chasing him, not giving him an opportunity. Parting, though, avoids getting hit, does regenerate his shields to full. Nicely done by Parting, keeping that drone off mining. This is damage in of itself. You're just slowing down Solar's income a little bit. Behind this, the Nexus and the Cyber Core does go up. It's going to restart probe production and go for the second gas in the pylon. And hey, look at that. Does occupy the mineral patch, forces another drone off. And Solar here continuing to drone on up. Does he save lava? Looks like he's saving. Wants to build an Overlord on 20. And then he's going to be building Zerglings after that to get his scouting going. Get this probe finally out of his base. Just leave, Solar's drone has got to be saying. And a Queen starts off another one there from the third base as well. And let's look at the Overlord pattern. One at the front of the base for Solar. A second Overlord heading up here to the left is going to go to that dead space, where it can potentially come in for a sacrifice to the main or retreat to the far top right of the map and hide over there. Parting's going to hang out and try to deny this expansion for now. Solar did build 4 Zerglings, 2 of them going across the map to scout. These 2, of course, going to clear up the probe. Parting's probe forced to evacuate. As that drone goes over there, Solar, as soon as he hits 300 minerals, gets that drone in position, drops the hatchery. And the Adept now working its way out across the map. Parting goes right on past a Zergling coming in. A bit of a mistake there. He's going to try to go back and hunt it down. He does not want that to see the Stargate up in his main base, but... Ooh, there we go. He should be able to stop it. And he does. The Zergling dies short of spotting that. So nice scouting denial. Stalker's on the way as well, of course. It's going to stop this Overlord from poking in. Stop any future Zerglings. Behind this, just drones powering out for Solar. A quick third queen, a good idea. That means this queen will be replaced by that one. So that queen that pops will do some injects. This one can start connecting the bases with creep, which is exceptionally important when you've been forced to this less accessible expansion. The Adept now coming in, looking for any drones that are popping out, but Solar should just pull that one back. Ooh. Adept does have to shade away. So it's going to be a Void Ray to start things out, and this is so common. Okay, so the meta on this map is almost every player plays 2 Stargate, 6 Void Rays. They might go Void Ray into Oracle first, but behind that, it's almost always more Void Rays. Because there's such an easy ramp to defend there and there, you can defend your 3 bases really easily. And look at this. Gets out the early Void Ray, starts killing the Overlord to deny vision, drops a super fast third base right on 3 minutes 50 with an Adept there wedged in the corner. So even if Zerglings come in, they can't surround her properly. She's got the kind of pylon and the minerals covering her flanks. But what? Okay, an interesting twist though. Parting goes for a Twilight Council immediately behind it. So that's a bit more old school. So I've actually been saying how, look, if you see the fast third and a Void Ray, PROTOSS can't really hit you with something like a Glaive Adept timing very early. It's going to be pretty damn delayed. But Parting looks like he's trying to go for it as quickly as possible. He could actually be going Archon drop as well. He's going for the Robo, and he's not building any more Stargate units. So the Zergling's going to come in and scout, but you can't really see anything. It always looks kind of similar at this stage. Oracle comes in, gets a single drone, has to pull out there. And Solar's going to keep trying to figure out what's going on. Now remember, Solar It's only now started his lair, so it's a pretty late lair. Long time till he can make an Overseer, and has not invested in Overlord speed. Only Zergling speed. So there's no real scouting options for Solar. Oh! Oh, Solar cannot see the high ground. How many drones are going to get trapped? Oh, about 7 drones get trapped. Lovely usage of that high ground there. So, Parting, throwing a stasis trap on the high ground and smashing that out now. Look at this. It's Glaive Adepts. He's going to make a ton of gateways. He's going to make a Warp Prison and Warp these on the other side of the map. How many gateways is this? He's already got 2 at the front. He's up a 7-gate Glaive Adept. The Lings are trying to get in. But what is he seeing? Solar's trying to scout. He sees a couple of Adepts warping in, but they were only warped in as a last resort. It looks like there's next to no gateway units here. You see gases going up on the 3rd base. That tells you this is a super heavy tech play. Those gases are so early. This must be 2 Stargate Void Ray. And you know what? I think this is such a good job of hiding it. Parting playing some disgusting mind games here. Because Solar, everything he's seen says you're playing a big macro game. And what's he doing? He's droning really hard. He's building an infestation pit. No doubt we'll start thinking about a 4th base. He's building some Zerglings right now. Meanwhile, mass Adepts are warping in. And look at this. The Void Ray is going to try and clear a path so he can sneak the Warp Prism and these Adepts across the map without being seen. Solar is trying to send an Overseer in for scouting. He's got some Zerglings, but he feels like he knows what's going on. He's building a couple Roaches and Lings, mostly drones and an infestation pit, though. Oh my god, Solar just doesn't see this coming at all. We're on Solar's vision. He queues up another drone, some more Overlords. He now sees it and goes, oh shit, 4 Roaches starting up. Is that going to be in time though? There's a Warp Prism here. There's already 14 Adapts. He's going to be warping in tons more. The Void Ray goes in a little bit early. I think that Void Ray is going to fall. So maybe a bit too deep with the Void Ray and the Oracle for Parting, but he doesn't care. He just wants to take these Queens out. He loses the Void Ray and the Oracle, but already 2 Queens falling, and that's mass Adept. 20 Adepts are just going to jump into the face of Solar and take him on. He doesn't even care. They'll even take out Roaches. They're not great versus Roaches, but they outnumber them so much that it doesn't matter. And they are in the worker line, already picking off 3 drones. Those drones running away, screaming right now, trying to get to safety. And those fake gases on the 3rd, hiding the extra Adepts in behind the wall. This was such a surprising, odd timing. I have never seen anyone hit such a late Adept attack, but it lulled Solar into a false sense of security, showing him everything that he was expecting with a different sort of strat. And look at this, those Adepts, okay, those ones are getting overwhelmed. Maybe he can hold on right now. He's still at 61 drones, is Solar, but oh, he just doesn't have Roach. Oh, he's actually got Roach speed, but he just doesn't have enough Roaches right now. He's only got ones that are there at this moment, and oh, there's the real damage. Adepts finding an undefended worker line, but not focus firing, actually getting body blocked. Okay, Parting is not finding enough damage. Solar's starting to stabilize. As I say that, though, the Adepts do find another undefended mineral line and another round going into the 3rd. 9 more workers, 11 more, 12 more workers go down. Adepts shade into that base. If they focus those drones down, oh, and they do. Parting with some fantastic micro. These Adepts, oh, look at that. Okay, 1 Adept gets into the main, does pick off a drone. These ones down here, oh, he's focusing on the drones now. Oh, you gotta deal with that. Solar, this 1 Adept in the main. It's doing way too much damage. It's smashing. 7 kills, 8 kills. It almost gets a 9th. 29 workers. I'm like, oh, Solar's stabilizing. He's got a lot of Roaches. Look at the economy. 65 versus 45. And Parting's making a Void Ray behind this. He's making Disruptors. He's got Colossus range on the way. More Adepts going in. And this is not going to do a lot of damage, but it's just keeping Solar back. Stopping that counterattack from swinging across the map. Solar's economy is already so bruised. Man, it almost looked like he held on against this. Maybe if he just ran his drones away a little bit better and split his Roaches up a bit better, maybe he could have hung on, but I think he was so thrown off. And oh no, another Adept picking off another whole bunch of workers. A 6-kill Adept there. Finally is going to get cleaned up. But out on the map, a mass Roach Ravager counterswing. Parting's Void Ray, though, nothing to shoot up against it. That's going to be the end of this if it has enough time shooting. Disruptor comes from the left, only gets a single Roach. Uh-oh, Solar's jumping on top. There's a lot of shield batteries. These Stalkers don't have blink yet. Battery overcharge does go down. Solar, of course, clicking on that. But look out, another Disruptor from the left. Another Disruptor from the left gets a big shot. 4 Ravagers going down. And the Stalkers with the batteries are holding on. All the batteries have died, but an Immortal walks out of the natural. Solar's counterattack. It was an all-in. He was at half the worker count, and he has to tap out. A brutal, tricky game there for map 1. All right. Let's go map number 2. As Parting starts off, chose everything completely normal, and then, of course, follows up with a crazily committed 7-gate Adept Assault. It's such a late moment to hit in the game, but hey, if you hide it till that last moment, if your opponent's tricked, is investing in a much longer game, just completely caught off guard. Great opening there for Parting. And his opponent up here in the top right, in the red, it is Solar. So a very early probe coming across to block the expansion there. Does he get it? Yeah, not enough money for the hatchery just yet. Solar sees that. He's just going to head on over to take his third base. Meanwhile, a forge! Oh my god, the mind games aren't ending. Okay, no, yeah. No wonder. Oh, and he sends it around the left of the map. Parting comes over with the normal block. The same block he used in game 1 to set up for a normal follow-up opening. But in this case, he's used it to prompt Solar to take the third base. Guess what? The Overlord is not going to get there in time. So he's going to sneak in the back, build a cannon there, and then it's not going to get spotted until the cannons are almost finished. If Solar saw it, he could cancel it earlier, or he could pull drones to fight this. There's a few ways he could deal with it, but the idea is Parting wants him to sink a lot of investment in that hatchery, and then have to cancel it at the last second. So a disgusting opening from Parting. He's up on 19 probes. This is not like a 16 probe cannon rush. He just wants a hatch cancel. And look at that. He's harassing exactly the way he would in a normal game. Solar, oh no, his Overlord's out front of the hatch. He's not even going to see it. There's 2 cannons building behind. But actually, wait. Oh, Parting gives it up. He tries to get the probe out to do more with it. And he actually does reveal his hand. So Solar immediately is like, oh shit. Sends a drone down. He says, okay, I'm gonna have to cancel that. I need to get another hatchery up elsewhere. But look at this. Parting knows that he's gonna cancel that. And he's already thinking ahead. Parting's got a gate and a nexus up. He's doing his own expansion behind it. So he's getting his own economy going. And then look at that. Gets 100 minerals. He canceled one of the cannons because the hatchery got canceled. And he blocks this. So Solar's like, oh, okay, I'll go take this place. He comes down here and Parting blocks it again. He cancels a hatch, he blocks one, he blocks another. Parting is being so filthy. He doesn't have enough money for a pylon though. And Solar, okay, finally something goes right for Solar. That other probe not quite getting there in time. Parting, if he got a pylon there as well, dude, can you imagine how pissed off Solar would be? Solar's probably already pissed off. He's forced to take a hatchery a minute and a half late at his 4th base location. There's a cannon in his 3rd, which Parting could warp into later as well. So he's going to have to deal with that at some point. Oh, what a frustrating opening for Solar. Forced to drop his hatchery there. He's going to slowly work out with his queens. He's got a few lings going to pressure, but there's a cannon at home. There's adepts on the way. You've got your double gas mining. Your main's fully saturated. Your nexus is finished. This is just an awesome opening for Parting, who's already, I don't think this is a game-winning situation. It's just you've messed Solar's opening up so much. I feel like if you just hit a sharp follow-up, whether it be a couple of quick oracles, 2 adepts coming across the map, there's so many different things you could do, and I imagine it's just going to be that much harder for Solar to defend. Solar, of course, did pull 2 workers off gas. Is continuing to build queens here. You can see he's pulled drones down to the 3rd. He's waiting for that to finish. He's pulling these drones over, saying, no, return cargo. There you go. The adept's going to come in though. If I could get even 1 drone here, that'd be huge. Where are the lings? They're out of position. Ling speed's done. Oh, look at that. Moves forward. Did you see the way the adept moved on top of the drone? Normally, the drone wants to try to turn into a spore crawler to block itself from dying, and then you cancel it. Once the adept's gone, go back to mining. But the adept quickly moves on top of the drone so that it couldn't afford to build the spore. Now, uh-oh. Adept is going to get surrounded, but nope. Gets to the safety of the cannon. The lings are going to commit to kill it, but the cannon does punish them for that, killing 3 extra Zerglings. Stalker's going to take out the Overlord in the main. It sees Robo and Twilight. Now, will that be DTs? Will it be Adepts? You never know as Solar. Solar is an expert at defending Adept attacks. And already a 5th gateway, is it? No, sorry, that's a 4th. That's a 5th gateway. Okay, so Parting going ham on this. A 6th gateway as well. Okay. This is not a 4-gate Adept. This is not a normal Adept rush. This is a 6-gate Adept. It's a massive commitment. I imagine Parting's going to delay taking these gases a fair bit. Looks like he's going to get a pylon behind the natural there as well, just to see if an Overlord comes in. So a Stalker can go over and push back any vision. Solar here. He's building a few more lings. Looks like he's thinking about clearing the cannon out. Droning on up. He's got that Roach Warren down there at the 3rd base. Up to 41 workers on 2 gases. And there we go. The lings are going to go for that cannon. Cannon, a softer target than the pylon by 100 hit points. A nice focus. Does get a wraparound. Cannon does take out a few Zerglings, though, so it's not free. But important to get rid of this pylon. Glaives is on the way. A Prism is already out, though. And look at that. He's going to go across there with 4 Adepts. 2 more warping in that'll just shade across behind this. Make that 3. Those gateways kicking in a big way. Just stopping at 38 probes. No probe production. No gases. No extra tech. This is a huge commitment from Parting. But Solar is quite ready. Solar has good map vision. He's got overlords around. He's got great creep spread out front. This is not quite connected, but it will be in a moment. Has already got 7 roaches out, 4 more on the way. A pack of zerglings behind it. Solar seems to have everything he needs. Can he get it together, though? This adept count is going to escalate fast. And he's going to need a lot more roaches and ravagers where that came from. Oh, the ravager runs forward accidentally and dies. Ah, big mistake there from Solar. Already losing roaches and ravagers in the adept shade right into the 3rd mineral line. Those drones have to get the heck out of there. And oh, 6 of them, 7 of them already going down. And look at that. The adepts here evading the frontal clash for now. Continuing to just pick off units where they can. Now, do they commit to that shade? Nope, they cancel it. They finish the queen and they say, that's cool, we're just going to kill your 3rd hatchery. Meanwhile, more adepts warping in on the left. So if he brings too many units down here, he's going to lose drones in his natural at the same time. And look at that, he's clicking it. Takes out 2 more drones. Is going to probably take out that hatchery as well. Cancels. Yep, cancels the shade and takes that out. Now, those adepts are getting cornered. Looks like the other adept shade did cancel. So quite a few of these adepts do die. Takes out a few zerglings and gets a drone there as well before shading back to safety. But look at that, adept still threatening on both sides, getting the 3rd base, knocking the Protoss, or the Zerg, sorry, back to 36 drones. And parting here with this super tricky opening. Feels like he just messed up the flow of Solar, and I thought Solar had the pieces ready to defend it, but it turns out the numbers just weren't quite ready. Was not quite ready to deal with it. Look how many adepts there are. Oh my god. Behind this, Immortals are on the way. Has taken both gases and built a handful more probes. Does have a shield battery in the natural. And those Immortals starting to come out. The Adepts come forward here. You got to be so careful as the Zerg player because you want to fight the Adepts, but you also don't want to let them shade in and kick your butt there. So, ooh, look at this. Prism ready to come in. He's kind of sat there for a little bit, but if you can just pick off a couple drones. And 2 drones picks up, gets to safety. Every drone is sacred right now. Solar's only on 35. He's rebuilding a few of them, which will get him back to 40 workers, but he's on mass Zergling. And the problem with mass Ling is if this adept count just keeps itself alive, you can never really engage into mass adept with mass Zergling. It's too inefficient. The adepts gun them down too quickly. The idea usually is if you wrap around them, hold them in position, your Ravagers can drop biles and they can't dodge because the Zerglings are surrounding. But landing that, it's hard to do. It's easier said than done, and as force fields come in, it's even harder to pull off. So Immortals and Sentries are here. A 3rd base does start. Solar, though, he's going to come across. We'll get a cancel on this bait. A Stalker going to go down, as will a Pylon. Cancels on all of that, though. And he goes for the natural. That's dangerous. You don't want to go up there, Solar. He sees the Immortals and Sentries and actually loses a Ravager. A lovely force field there. These Adepts coming forward. He realizes a lot of the units are on the other side of the map. Parting's just going to take whatever trade he can. Ooh, you can't surround that, Zerglings. And it looks like a single Adept is going to go in again. Parting's so annoying, man. Ooh, nope. Careful, don't get that biled. Ravagers are on their way back. He does pull it back. 46 drones versus 48 probes. But you know what? Solar's kept Parting back on 2 base economy now. It feels like maybe his lead will slip away. And 1 Adept goes down. Can Solar get another? No, good rotate there. Okay, yeah. 1 more Adept does go down. You don't want to lose too many of these units as Parting as he now retakes a 3rd base. Does he have a 3rd Immortal? He does. The Zerglings see the 3rd base. Now, you don't want to drone too hard as Solar because this is still such a scary army. Those sentries gathering energy. He sees more sentries in the natural. I think you've got to see this as an attack coming, right? A lot more Lings on the way. He needs more Ravagers. He's trying to take more gas now, but it's a little too late. How many Ravagers have we got? 5. He's trying to make 3 more. I feel like he's got to come forward and start dropping biles on this. He can't let the force fields land on his army in the choke points. The Roaches and the Ravagers have to lead the charge, but they can't get trapped by those force fields. Parting just shoving his way through here. Oh, the Zerglings don't want to get trapped by force field either. So you notice he's waiting for Parting to overcommit, and then he'll take the trade. Those Lings go in. I think maybe they could have run into that base, but they're going to go for the cancel on the 3rd. A nice move by Solar. Solar says, hey, no worries, mate. I'll just kill your 3rd. Those Lings going to click that one down. The cannons and the Adepts, though, would take too much of attacks, I think. So the Lings pull back, realizing, okay, we don't want to throw our lives away, man. We've got to be careful. It's going to catch the rallying probes, though. Oh, nice micro. Shift clicks on those. More Lings coming in, but that's a lot of Zerglings. And remember, there's still a very scary army and a Warp Prism on the other side of the map. And, whoa, he moved his Roach Ravager. He lost track of the army. Oh my god, Solar lost track of the army. He thought Parting had pulled home, but he hadn't. Parting rotates around the left and says, dude, are you not at home right now? He walks right into his house, slams the door back, and starts squatting in the Zerg's base. Oh my god, Solar. I thought he'd got himself back into this game, but a huge mistake. Parting just rotates around the left, and now he says, okay. All right, maybe a bit too much of a ramp, But here, a single force field ramp. He says, try and get up here. There's just no way Solar's trying to bile the ramp down. But look at that. Every time he tries to move up it, another force field just splits the army. And look at this giant arc of units firing against just a handful of Roach Ravager on the side of Solar. Oh, Solar's just, he's taking an awful fight. All of his Roach Ravagers milling about behind each other. He's morphing a Ravager on his ramp accidentally. He's having to bile his own units on the ramp just to break the force fields. And Parting takes a ridiculously strong fight. Solar, I cannot believe he let him move around there. Oh, we're going to have to do a rewind and look at how that happened. Solar must have thought he went home. Oh my god, we've got to do a quick rewind here, guys. How did that happen? Let me just rewind about a minute or two there. How did this army get here? How? Solar, what? How did he not realize? So look, watch this from Solar's vision. Let's fast forward that. He sees the army move to the left, but he's not paying attention. He's staring at his lings. Does he think the army's here? What does he think he's doing? The army clearly moved to the left. Solar just lost track of it. He's so focused on his lings, and he's like, wait, where's your, what? Oh no, and he looks back at home and he's like, oh my god, disaster. Parting, just finding his way into the softest spot in the defenses. That's a 2-0 advantage for Parting. Let's go to map 3. All right. Down here in the bottom right-hand side, looking for the 3-0 victory. Some filthy openings so far. Let's see what he's got in store for us on Submarine. It is Parting. Goes for a 13 pylon. He wants to get across this map super early to make sure the Zerg cannot get a hatchery down. And then he does start probe production up and chrono boost it behind that. Normally you don't chrono boost that early because it's a 13 pylon. It times out where he hits that 15, 16 supply mark just after the pylon finishes. And Solar going to go down to take that expansion. Doesn't send the drone down very early. So sees the block, queues up another drone, and just heads to take a 17 hatch on the third. And there we go. Not bad though. 17 hatch on the third is just fine. Something he's very used to playing against here from Parting. And it's just going to chill with that. So Solar comes around with that drone, wants to deflect that probe, wants to get him out of his base. Get out of here, man. Oi, leave. Bro, get out. Get out of here, says that drone. Behind this, of course, Parting looking with a very standard follow-up. You see that next probe rally to the low ground to take the Nexus. Not the fastest Nexus. When you send a probe across this early in the game, see the Nexus ends up being closer to a minute 30 than a minute 20. Spawning pool and gas down here. That drone very much respecting that probe. And that probe coming in there as well. It's going to start trying to mine those minerals a little bit. Go out there. Probe is going to pull on back. Just keep on harassing, lets the shields regen, and then look at that. Forces the drone off the minerals again. Solar pulls one off the further patch to go on the closer patch. So still in the midst of the harassment, optimizes all of that. Nicely done by Solar. And just keeps pulling a drone as needed. Now there's no buildup of lava there, so he knows there's not any crazy fast speedling all in. So that probe pulls home. Cybercore finishes. Adept chrono boosts out. You can see now that Parting here. Getting 3 workers on each gas nice and early. And it's going to open up with his tech. So it's going to be an early Robo. Parting slowing things down a little bit. The Robo, it could be used for a really quick Immortal Sentry push. That is something that he loves to do. But it's something which is not hit nearly as hard and fast for harassment as, say, a Stargate or a Twilight Council, right? Glaive Adepts, Oracles, Adepts, all those things are going to get in there and start killing workers very quickly. At Robo, it represents either building big powerful units for later, you know, Immortals, Colossus, or one quick frontal push with a Warp Prism and some Sentries and maybe 1 or 2 early Immortals. Parting definitely has killed a lot of top tier Zergs with that style of play. He's accidentally pulled a second worker off. I think he accidentally pulled a worker off for the Robo and then forgot to put it back. Wait, that's on purpose. Only 2 on both gas? Really? Interesting. Gets a Robo Bay, so it's going to be a Robo Bay. This will be a Disruptor drop opening from Solar, from Parting, sorry. and maybe go into Colossus. There was a really cool 2-base push for a long time where people would go Disruptor drop and then they'd get like maybe 1 or 2 Colossus afterwards. Sometimes just 1 Colossus and you get some Immortals. And the idea was you just get lots of Stalkers and Sentries. You don't really need any upgrades with them, but you just pair up Force Fields, Zealots or Adepts to deal with Zerglings. And if you can trap Roaches back and then drop Disruptors on big clumps of Roaches, oh my god, it's deadly. Colossus roast Zerglings as well. And it's just this powerful 2-base push. So that was around for a while, but you don't necessarily need to do that. I do expect Warp Prism Speed to come out, though. It's going to start a Disruptor, first of all. Queues that up, dropping Chronos into that. Of course, needs Disruptors before it's any use. And warps in a few Sentries, so it's going to start gathering energy. Good defensive units, but especially powerful. If you get, say, with a push up to here, you can force field that ramp and trap them on the low ground. Bam, bam. 2 force fields cover the vast majority of this opening. 3 force fields to totally seal it off. There's some really good force field pushes that we've seen in recent history from there. And there's just 1 Disruptor straight into an Immortal. Interesting. So a bit of anti-Roach to start things off. Could be a hard push to follow up. No 4th Gas Geyser, though. And Solar can see that just by poking his Overlord to the right. Overlord going into the main isn't going to see squat. That's not going to see much at all. I don't think the Prism's been spotted yet either, by the way. So we'll see a few gateways finishing. Could be a sign of aggression. Doesn't see anything else. Doesn't see the Robo Bay. 3rd base going down here. And here we go. Round 1 of the Disruptor drop. But he finds the least saturated base. Maybe not the best target. Only gets 1 drone. Solar saves a drone by putting it in a Spore Crawler. Don't know if that really did anything there. I guess it kind of blocks the Disruptor shot a little bit. I think this would have been a better target coming around the north, but he didn't want to go past the Overlord on the high ground. So we thought this would be a bit more of a coy angle that he could strike from. A big Ling attack coming in, though. And, oh, he's moving out, actually. That's a lot of Sentry, Stalker, Immortal. They should be able to come back and defend this. As long as he doesn't lose the 3rd. Oh, I don't know, man. Okay, Force Fields. Oh, Solar sees the Sentries, runs to the right, does not want to get trapped. Okay, good little poke by Solar. Forces this pressure home. So you could tell Parting was trying to move across the map and scare him, but he didn't actually want to commit to that push. Why? Because he's probing up and he's adding a Forge and a Twilight behind it. So he's actually just going to macro up behind this. But look, he's trying to create fear. The way he's moving out of the map like this, it's all about scaring the Zerg as much as possible. He's sending out a double hallucinate. The Disruptor drop's going to come in this time looking for that big hefty Mineral Iron. And, ooh, can he get a big shot? Oh, he cancels it? Oh, what the hell? Why did he cancel that shot? Weird micro from Parting, who, by the way, oh my god, that's a lot of Zerglings. And he recalls back into his natural. Okay, warps into Stalker and some Zealots out there. They're all going to go down, man. Oh, those units. I mean, Zealots are not bad versus Zerglings, but that's just so many. This is like a mass Ling assault with a handful of Ravagers. This is such an odd timing, but he's catching him in this weird position where he just used a lot of energy on force fields to catch a handful of Lings. Parting burnt way too many force fields. That, Disruptor shot only hits 1 Ravager. There's just not enough anti-Zergling here. Look at that. Parting gets lured out into the open trying to defend the 3rd base, and he just gets blitzed by mass Zergling. Solar says, all right, you tricked me game 1 and game 2. How about this, dickhead? You don't have anything to deal with Zerglings. Immortals, Sentries, Stalkers, nothing that actually hits hard against my Zerglings. And he finds a soft spot in Parting's armor. Solar gets a point on the board. Okay, into game 4. Finally does drop a map there. Wasn't too tricky in that last game, to be honest. I mean, he tried to create a bit of threat, I think, with the Sentry Stalker push, but it kind of felt like his opponent just was ready for it and took advantage. So down here in the bottom left with a high ground pylon, it is Parting. Something very odd in the books here. High ground pylon into probe going across the map. Up here in the top right, he's struggled against those crazy early rushes and mind games from Parting. Can he stabilize here? He's got to win 2 more maps to catch back up and win this series. It's Solar. And that's it. That's a Forge. Forge there. The Overlord does not see that early probe. Does the probe show itself? Does it show itself? He comes in, he goes, oh no, I didn't block you. That should be an alarm bell though. Why would there be a probe here this early if it didn't come in time to block your hatch? And oh, he's pulling drones. Pylon, 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 pylon. Whoa, he barely gets it. He just had enough minerals. He literally just got enough minerals to get that pylon down. Solar says, fuck this, I'm going to try and fight it. I'm a big fan of this defense, but you need to pull a lot more drones than that. He's only attacking the one pylon. That is the pylon with a lot of surface area, but I think he needs to pull a lot more drones as soon. Yeah, he needs to be able to pull down there with a mass of drones. This is not enough. Look at that. Cannon on the low ground, cancels the 2 pylons, gets enough money for a gateway and a pylon. That is so hard. You've got to be breaking this pylon. If you want to break this Russia's solar, you need to depower the cannon. You're never going to kill the cannon, but you've got to put drones on this pylon. This pylon has a lot of surface area. You can kill the pylon. You're never going to kill the cannon. The gateway is not important. Solar messing up his priorities here, and he lets another cannon and another pylon go down. He still has not depowered the cannon. Solar, terrible prioritization. He's going to try and fight the cannon, but he can only fight it with 4 drones at a time. That cannon is absolutely smashing these drones. Look at this. Oh my god, the probe comes in. Each time the probe lands a hit on the drones, it takes it from 3 hits to 2 hits for the cannon. So that probe even assisted with 2 kills there. The cannon is just slaying. And Solar, he didn't know how to defend this rush. Oh, that's an older one. I've held that when Parting's done that to me before. Oh, that's if you're gonna pull drones, it's all or nothing. But man, what a nasty push from Parting. Some dirty mind games into just a brutally effective push. You need to have such a crisp response to this. So I'm going to be really critical, and let me just talk you through this as we end this this cast of this series, because that does give Parting the 3-1 victory. I really feel as soon as you saw that probe, you should already be pulling at least 1 drone, because number 1, that's just a good safety measure against the Master Cannon Russia. Number 2, why is someone as good Parting bringing a probe across if it's not in time to block your hatchery? That's a mistake he's not going to make. And you know why? It's because it's not a mistake. He tried to make it look like he was attempting the block. He wasn't. He was just like, oh, this is why my probe's here. And you can just see, even that few seconds late, if you already had 1 drone hitting this pylon, you can just get through a little bit earlier, right? Now, don't get me wrong, Parting does end up selling those pylons, but yeah, like right here, he gets 100 minerals at that moment. So if you already had a drone here, he would not be able to complete the wall. If you're here 1 second earlier as Solar, this wall does not complete. You can block the wall, fight him, buy time for more drones to get over. He also had another attempt to hold. I'm very critical because I'm an expert in defending cannon rushes with drone pulls. I'm very bad at defending them once they get up with ravages and that sort of stuff. Solar infinitely better than me at that, don't get me wrong. But Solar and a lot of other players make this mistake all the time. And even here, you want to have already like 10 drones here. So whether or not he cancels, the moment that pylon dies, or the moment those cancel, you can just run down and F stuff up. Now you might be asking, what if those pylons don't get cancelled? You're going to take longer to get down. Well, like I said, this pylon, you've got to be killing it a lot quicker. But if he doesn't cancel those, this gateway and this pylon, he can't afford them. He's out of minerals. So it actually means his next buffer isn't there. But as I said, you want to pull a ton of drones. And attacking the gateway is not bad, but it's much more important to get maybe, you probably hit, I think, three. I think you get about 6 drones attacking that pylon. At least 2 drones attacking the probe. And you want to make sure, because even if you kill that pylon, he could get another pylon up here or here. You want to pull down like almost all your drones, and you want to have heaps of them constantly. If the probe runs around, you have 2 drones attacking it, he runs that way, you keep peeling them off and attacking it without ever breaking off. And when that cannon finishes, it's not going to be powered. You can also look at this and say, well, where else could he power it? And you could leave 1 drone patrolling here, because that's the most dangerous area. But if you've got drones attacking his probe, you can kill those pylons as they start up anyway. So whenever your opponent does a wall-off cannon in a really tight little pocket like that where it's inaccessible, the way to kill it is never to kill the cannon, or very rarely. It depends on the positioning, but very rarely. It's always about depowering it. Solar there, not quite having a good enough understanding of it, and Parting's range of cheesy bullshit strategies just, once again, incredible. Well played, Parting. He tricks Solar out in this series, and he smashes it. I hope you guys are once again enjoying these straight to YouTube best of series. We cast a lot of games on the stream. Some are good, some are one-sided, but the very best ones with the most interesting strategies, the most wild back and forth, crazy base trades and games, we're bringing them straight to you guys on YouTube. So let me know your thoughts. Let me know any series. Tweet them at me if you guys watch any series online and you go, oh my god, this would make a good addition to the series. Tweet them at me and you will be seeing it up on YouTube soon. Thanks for watching, guys. We'll see you in the next episode. Goodbye and good night.